retired Kirk Jean Baptiste, and welcome to Memorial Day Parade here at Memorial Park. Today is the National Day of Remembrance. Behind me stands the cenotaph, and the sentries are laid and ready to perform. The parade is now coming down, and they would enter Memorial Park in a few short minutes to line up on my left. We expect sunny skies today. Have a warm and pleasant day. I'll go back with this there. National Day of Remembrance 2024, in honor of all who served and in memory of those who fell in the World Wars I and II, 1914 to 1918, World War I, and 1939 to 1945, World Wars II. The sentries are laid on the cenotaph. From my view, I can see the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment Band is being marched in, led by Sergeant Tanis, and they are leading this parade this morning. They are now passing the right markers. The first right marker in red tunic there is from the Trinidad and Tobago Red Cross Society. Parade is being marched into place. Here we see the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment, followed by the Women's Detachment of the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment. Right behind the Women's Detachment, we have the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. They have two detachments. But unlike the regiment, the Coast Guard detachment is always mixed, male and female. All right. And here we see more ratings of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. They're followed closely by detachment of the Trinidad and the Tobago Air Guard. After the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard, you can see in the corner of your screen, those in red berries are the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force Reserves. They all make up the detachments that represent the Trinidad and the Tobago Defense Force. Marching behind, bringing up the rear, would be the Trinidad and the Tobago Police Service. Followed by the Trinidad and the Tobago Cadet Force. Cadet Force represents our youth. They also played a pivotal role in the First and Second World Wars, being stretcher bearers, messengers, and working in the logistics units. Behind the Cadet Force is the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service. So the Cadet Force would have ended the armed contingents, and the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Services in the unarmed contingent. Now, during today's parade, there will be loud explosions, so don't be alarmed at home. The parade is turned to the right to face the front of the parade, and they're preparing to march on the colors of the various formations. So before they march on the colors, the parade sergeant major will prepare the troops for several layers of handovers. So you'll give them an in open order, right dress. The front rank will take a pace forward, the rear rank will take a pace back, all head and eyes over to the right, where the parade will be dressed to ensure that all lines are straight and military-like. When that is done, the instructions to fix bayonets on the rifles will be given to the armed contingents. Still in the eyes right mode, you can see in the background some members of the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, and the band has taken up their position to the far east of the parade. The parade is still being dressed, and when they're given the eyes front, signifies that the parade is finished dressing and all is regular and correct to carry on to the next stage. It's a sunny, windy day today, so all should be fine. The troops are on grass as opposed to asphalt or concrete, so that heat is not being reflected to them as well. There are members of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. Notice that everybody on parade is wearing their poppy. The poppy are the flowers that would have bloomed on the graves of fallen soldiers in foreign countries. And since that time to now, every year around this time, servicemen, civilians wear their poppies. So the parade has been called to stand at ease, and they await the next set of instructions. We're still on the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. Everybody looks okay, everybody looks fine. The weather is fine. It's a good day for a parade. Parade has been called to attention, and the parade adjutant is marching into place. It is his duty to ensure that bayonets are fixed. The parade adjutant is Flight Lieutenant Kutu. Flight Lieutenant Kutu has now taken over the parade from the Parade Sergeant Major, Warrant Officer Class 1, Gonzalez. He is now in position to command the parade until the parade second in command up comes to. Call the parade to the attention. He's given the instruction to fix bayonets. They're giving a little bit of time to make sure everybody's bayonets is fixed properly. Parade is stood at ease. Flight Lieutenant Kutu, who is from the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard, will await on screen. You see the Mayor of Port of Spain, His Worship Chinua Allen. He is greeted by the Force Command Warrant Officer Dilla. The troops are all stood at ease. Bayonet fix. On your screen, you're seeing the officers that command the various formations are getting ready to fall in. So they would march on and halt in front of their various and respective detachments until they are given the instructions to fall in, the officers. Here we see the Air Guard officers filed in, and here we see the handover reporting from Flight Lieutenant Kutu to Major Barry George. Barry George represents the Trinidad and the Tobago Regiment. He is the parade second in command. It will be his job to fall in the officers. The parade adjutant will take up his position on the very end of the parade. As you see on your screen, he will be the very last officer on parade this morning. The parade second in command, of course, is waiting for the parade adjutant to fall into his place. And here we see Major George. He is now going to fall in for parade. As he draws his sword, it means he now has command. So he has just given the instruction to fall in the officers. The officers too will draw their swords to the taps of the drummers and therefore lean, they will turn about and face front. They'll now take dressings from the adjutant. And the officers are now felled in and they would stand at ease. So they are at the front of their detachments and they too are ready to take charge. The parade is now ready to receive the parade commander. Members of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, again before you. The parade commander is marching into position. So the parade second in command, Major Barry George, will hand over to Commander Ray Frederick. Commander Frederick represents the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. Major George salutes. This is how he salutes with a sword, and he will now report on the standard and condition of the parade. Salute again, and the parade second in command will take up his position to the top of the parade. The parade commander will now take his position. He will draw swords. Now sailors do it a little bit differently. Sailors carry their swords in their hands, so he must sling his sword before he does anything else. And notice he's looking. Sailors are the only ones that are allowed to look at their swords. Simply because we work on ships, and ships rock to and fro. So they didn't want anyone having any accidents with their sword and their fingers. So Commander Ray Frederick has taken over the parade. He's looking to see where the parade second commander is. He stood the parade at ease. This is to give the troopers a little relaxing stance before we move again. Given the instruction to shoulder arms. He's given the instruction to march on the colors, and now he will give the instruction to give general salute, present arms. So this is how you salute with your rifle in hand. To the sound of the More We Are Together, the colors are being marched on to parade. Everyone else is invited to stand still until the colors are marched in place and the parade is given the instruction to shoulder arms again. So in front you see the colors, led by the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment, followed by the ensign of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. And there's the ensign of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. The colors are always escorted by two leading hands, which is the equivalent rank of corporal in the regiment and the air guard. Colors are always escorted with arms, and you see the falling in of the air guard colors. The Coast Guard is about to fall in to their position. It is a very interesting drill. They'll come about. Somebody has to step back, correct. It's one of the harder drills to do. So the air guard ensign is in place. Flight Lieutenant of the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard. Parade commander has just given the instruction to shoulder arms. The audience is invited to be seated at this time. The parade is marched on, felled in, and awaiting the arrival of the respective dignitaries before the commencement of the parade. Here we see the Coast Guard ensign, which comprises of the flag of England with the national flag in the uppermost corner of the hoist. All Coast Guards and Navies throughout the Commonwealth, the English-speaking Caribbean and Commonwealth, would have a flag like this with their respective national color in the top left-hand corner of the hoist. And here we see the arrival of the Minister of National Security, the Honorable Fitzgerald Hines. And he's greeted by the Chief of Protocol. Troops are there, awaiting the other instructions on the other part of the parade. This parade, unlike any other, does not involve them marching away to anywhere. They all stay right here as we wait for the laying of the wreaths on the cenotaph. Parade Commander Ray Frederick. Now is the time when you can make your little adjustments, your little movements, etc. before the arrival of the dignitaries. He has placed himself into a position where he can actually see the arrival of the dignitary. So he has moved from the position you would have seen him earlier to this current position. Here we see the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard, formed in 2005 out of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard's Air Wing. They now are their own formation, capable and able. I see members of the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment's detachment. We have a very good view of the cenotaph, and you can see the sentries on the cenotaph. To the left of your screen, the Trinidad and Tobago Cadet Force. In the middle, Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, and sporting the red beret is a member of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force Reserves. The other Sentries are on the other side of the cenotaph. These are members of the Trinidad and Tobago Cadet Force. Sporting his red beret, the red berets of the Defense Force, the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force Reserves. All persons on the cenotaph would carry the rank of sergeant, and in the case of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, petty officer. It is a position of honor, a position of grace, a position of respect. See the sergeant of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. So we all awaited the arrival of Her Excellency. One of the emblems and symbols of the cenotaph, the soldier standing over and protecting one of his comrades in the time of battle. And on this side of the cenotaph, to your left, we have the sentry from the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard. In the middle, petty officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. And the sergeant of the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment. Another symbol on the cenotaph represents a nurse. One of the persons that take care of the fallen and injured during times of war. We have a cross-section of some of our dignitaries, members of embassies and consulates throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And anytime now we will see the arrival of Her Excellency, the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. She will be accompanied by Mr. Cohen Garcia, SC, the First Gentleman of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The Commanding Officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard in the front row, Captain Don Polo, and his wife. Seated behind him is Captain Zinmark King and Captain Gosine. The right mark of the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard, followed by the troopers of the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard. We've just been reliably informed that the Chief Justice will be unable to attend today's parade due to illness. Here we have another cross-section of retired officers, what we refer to as veterans. The veterans come out every year and pay homage. Another cross-section of some of our ambassadors and consulate generals. Another cross-section of some more veterans as we all await the arrival of the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. She's on time. All the other dignitaries have arrived. Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Keith Rowley, and his wife, Sharon Rowley, arrived, and they will come in down the red carpet into the cenotaph area to be seated to await the arrival of Her Excellency the President.
Please stand for the arrival of Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
And here we see the Prime Minister. The audience has been asked to stand in honor of their arrival.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And they're placed into their seats. And they will greet the First Lady when she arrives. Dr. Rowley obviously going through his program, making sure that everything is running smoothly. And of course, Mrs. Rowley is taking in the troops and everyone else on the parade. It is indeed a wonderful day today. Skies are clear and the sun is out. If you're wondering what the X-like formation is on the arms of the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard, the X-like formation stands for Senior Aircraftsman. and the ones with the three propellers are aircraftsmen. The audience is expected to stand when the first and second guns are being fired. Those are the loud explosions. During the 2 minutes of silence, during the delivery of the prayer, and of course, the playing of the national anthem, and during the playing of the last post and the long reveille. And when Her Excellency, the President, is laying her wreath. In the distance, you can see members of the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service. We are live at the Memorial Park for the National Day of Remembrance Parade 2024. If you just joined us, this is the parade to honor all who served and in memory of those who fell in World Wars I and World Wars II. World War I would have been 1914 to 1918, and World War II would have been 1939 to 1945. The cenotaph, which was constructed in honor of all those who served from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and fell during World Wars I and World Wars II. On your screen, the gold coat of arms can only signify the arrival and the flying of the President's standard, the arrival of the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, or a spouse, Mr. Cohen Garcia, SC. Yes, and there she is, Her Excellency Christine Carla Kangaloo, ORTT, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. She's accompanied by Mr. Cohen Garcia, SC, First Gentleman of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. She's also accompanied by the Chief of Defense Staff, Air Vice Marshal Darrell Daniel. The parade will execute a general salute. The audience is asked to remain standing. The sentries are doing their drills to rest on their arms reversed at this time. So reversed arms means that the muzzle of the rifle is to the ground and the butt is facing the sky. And there you heard the first gun salute. They are still in the present arms position. The officers with swords, with their arms stretched straight down, is also a signal of the salute. Everyone is in the saluting position. Chief of Defense Staff, Vice Marshal Darrell Daniel, holding his salute. The first ever Air Vice Marshal in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. This position is to be held for 1 minute. Right about now, the rifles will be getting a little heavy. And there's a second salute, signifying the end. The last post will now be played. All officers execute a salute during the playing of the last post, and here we see the bugler on your screen is a mounted branch of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service who would usually escort Her Excellency to and from parades of this nature. The parade commander has just instructed the parade to shoulder arms and now order arms. At this time, the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Forces Chaplain Officer, Lieutenant Clark of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, will deliver prayers.
Deliver them from the grasp of the wicked. Let us pray. Almighty God, guide us today as we stand in honor and recognition of the efforts of those who have served and in memory of those who laid down their lives in global conflicts. We acknowledge their sacrifice and pray that those of us who remain in service will do so in view of the path that they have paved before us. Empower us to love each other and to live lives in service and respect for each other. May you guide us through every step of life's journey as we seek to walk in accordance with your will and your desires for our lives. This and other blessings we ask and we lay before you today. In your name, amen and amen.
Prayers have been said. Lieutenant Kwame Clark,
Continue to remain standing
Defense Force Chaplain,
as you will now witness the ceremonial laying of the wreaths in honor of all who served and in memory of those who fell in the two world wars.
so we now go on to
Christine Carla Campbell,
the laying of the wreaths
of the Republic of
in honor of all who served.
President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago,
The President, Her Excellency Christine Kangaloo, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, will lay the first wreath. That's an aide-de-camp, Major Paris, and the Chief of Defense Staff looks on.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
And we now commence the list of literaries.
Doctor of the Honorable Keith Rowley,
The Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago will lay the second wreath. Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley. He's accompanied by a petty officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard.
the Honorable Fitzgerald Hines,
The Minister of National Security, the Honorable Fitzgerald Hines, will lay the next wreath, accompanied by a sergeant from the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force Reserves. Air Vice Marshal Darrell Daniel, Chief of Defense Staff, will lay the next wreath. That is Air Vice Marshal Darrell Daniel, Chief of Defense Staff. Salutes in honor. We'll continue lanes
with
members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, the Republic of Turkey,
the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland,
the United Kingdom of Great Britain and the Northern Ireland,
the Dominican Republic,
and the Dominican Republic. They will be followed by the European Union,
the
French Republic, Japan, the Bolivian Republic of Venezuela, the United Mexican States. Due to our high temperatures, we have decided to lay in groups in order to cut down on the time that the troops are standing in the sun and that everybody is exposed to the sun. Traditionally, this would be done one by one. The next grouping, the Holy See Vatican, the United States of America, the Commonwealth of Australia, the Republic of Colombia, the Republic of Chile. We continue. Federal Republic of Germany, Jamaica, the Federative Republic of Brazil, the Republic of Cuba, the Argentine Republic. as they're all invited to now lay their wreaths in unison. The petty officers and sergeants will fall out. The Republic of Peru, the Republic of Korea, the Republic of Panama, Canada, the Republic of India. And this shows the level of respect Memorial Day receives internationally. Today is not a day to be taken for granted. People have died for us to live the free, liberated lives that we live today. That is without contestation. This is respect. This is honor. The Kingdom of the Netherlands, the Kingdom of Spain, the Cooperative Republic of Ghana, Dean of the Consular Corps. Dean of the Consular Corps is normally represented by the person that is the longest serving consulate or diplomat in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Group 3 is in a grouping by themselves. They,
This witnessed the end of the ceremonial laying of the wreaths to the members of the diplomatic and consular corps.
thus ended the diplomatic and consular corps. The president of the Trinidad and Tobago Legion of Commonwealth and Ex-Services League is in a group of his own for obvious reasons. This is Lieutenant Colonel, retired Lyle Alexander. Group Heads of the Protective Services, Commissioner of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Chief Fire Officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, Commissioner of the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service, the Commandant of the Trinidad and Tobago Cadet Force. They would receive their wreaths from their respective sergeants, petty officers, before laying on the cenotaph. Group 5 represents members of the city and borough corporations, Mayor of the city of Port of Spain, Mayor of the borough of Arima. Group 6 will represent persons of the youth and volunteer organizations of Trinidad and Tobago. They will follow the laying of the wreaths by the mayors of Port of Spain and Arima. Volunteer organization. Commissioner of the Scout Association of Trinidad and Tobago, Deputy Chief Commissioner of the St. John's Ambulance Brigade of Trinidad and Tobago, President of the Trinidad and Tobago Red Cross Society, President of the Royal Air Forces Association. Actually, today's Wreath Laying by the Scout Association is the Youth Commissioner representative. The Red Cross Society played a pivotal role in both World Wars, providing human nursing and ambulance services, saving a lot of lives during those wars. The Trinidad and Tobago Red Cross Society. Ladies and gentlemen, this comes to the end of our wreath laying, referred to as the ceremonial laying of the wreaths. And the audience is invited at this time to stand parade commander has now called the parade to the attention position. The audience is remain standing for the long reveille. the cenotaph sentries are now reversing their order to their regular positions. They'll go into the present arms drill for the playing of the national anthem of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And now order arms. At this time, Her Excellency, the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Her Excellency Christine Carla Kangaloo, ORTT, will now depart. She's accompanied by her spouse, Mr. Cohen Garcia, SC, First Gentleman of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. She's accompanied by Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and Mr. Sharon Rowley, and the Honorable Fitzgerald High, Minister of National Security, and Her Excellency's main aide, the Chief of Defense Staff. The audience is reminded to remain standing. Commander Fredericks will take his position, and we see the departure of Her Excellency, His Excellency, and all the other official office holders. The parade commander has now called the parade to the attention position and is instructing them to shoulder arms. The instructions of General Salute to present arms is now given to facilitate the marching off of the colors of the various and respective formations. Colors of the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard is now passing in front of the screen. The departure of the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and on your screen the colors of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Let's know. See the colors being marched out of Memorial Park. await the instructions to shoulder arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
The audience will be invited to sit. The parade commander is given the order, arms command. He would stand them at ease. And now he'll invite the parade second in command. So you're about to witness the reverse of everything you saw earlier. So the parade commander, Commander Ray Frederick, is handing over the parade back to Major Barry George, the parade second in command. The parade second in command is now saluting. This is the handover process from commander to second in command. The parade commander will give him some instructions before he departs. Second salute. The parade commander will now sheathe his sword. As you see, he looks. Sailors are allowed to look when they're sheathing their swords. Ladies and gentlemen, the parade commander, Commander Ray Fredericks of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. Major Barry George is now in command of the parade. He will fall out the officers.
The parade commander will now fall out the officers. The parade second in command will now fall out the officers and will hand the parade to the sergeant, the parade sergeant major.
And once the officers are felled out, the parade will be then handed back over to the parade sergeant major. All officers armed and unarmed are now felled in to report off to the parade second in command. Salute in unison. And now sheathing of the swords. As I said before, you notice the soldiers don't look. Sailors and airmen will look when they sheathe their swords. They turn to their right and they'll all march off the parade. The officers that commanded the respective formations at today's Memorial Day, the National Day of Remembrance in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. If you're now joining us, we're here live at the National Memorial Park in Port of Spain for the National Day of Remembrance 2024. parade is ending, the officers are being marched off with the parade. And soon, the parade commander, the parade second in command, will request the parade sergeant major. He, however, will remain in position until the troops are marched off. He has now called for the parade sergeant major, Warrant Officer Class 1 T. Gonzalez. Warrant Officer is reporting. The parade second in command is giving instructions. Warrant Officer will take up his duty. Call the parade to the attention position. Next order of business is to unfix bayonets and then sheathe those bayonets. They give them time to ensure that it's properly contained in its holster. The band you see in the background moving and falling into place to march the parade off the parade square. Just gave the instructions to close order right dress, which would be a reverse of what you saw earlier on today where they were in open order. This is to facilitate marching on the streets in order to get to the Queen's Park Savannah where they will be dismissed. Very, very, very short marching off parade. Still taking their dressings, members of the Tobago Air Guard and the entire parade still taking their dressings. The band you can't see is falling into place. Parade Sergeant Major is giving the command to shoulder arms. Pretty soon, they'll be instructed to execute a right, a dismiss, a right turn, salute, and march off. Parade Sergeant Major is giving instructions to the troops just before they depart. Command to dismiss, execute what is called a butt salute. Those without arms, a full general salute. And they would commence marching off. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's National Day of Remembrance 2024 live at the National Memorial Park in Port of Spain. You have been a wonderful audience. We invite you to enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Peace and love.
This is TTT. Live for local.
Good morning, brothers and sisters in Christ.